Hey traders, Raghee here, and in today's free video we're going to cover the XLU. Now the XLU is a market that we've been pretty active in for as long as we've been active in the bond market. This is a bond proxy. Now whether or not you believe in bond proxies and whether there are certain sectors or stocks that behave as one, there is a certain predictable behavior between markets like XLU and the broader markets. In fact, XLU will tend to be a little bit more resilient when there is a broader market sell-off, meaning your NASDAQs, your S&Ps, your Dow stocks. And then when those are strong, as they are right now, XLU isn't really that favored. But still, there's plenty of reason to be interested in the XLU because the trend that has preceded the chop was up, which means that we're going to have a bullish bias to XLU when it reaches these oversold support levels. So right now, I really don't like anything in the XLU. It's just kind of sitting here, sort of compressing, which might be interesting for a momentum breakout, perhaps, maybe even a momentum breakdown. You know, we want to be ready for a move in either direction. A breakout would be a continuation of the oversold bounce. A breakdown would be a retest, potentially, of the oversold bounce. So keep an eye on the XLU. I know it's not one of those names that necessarily is one that you're thinking of as the broader markets are at all-time highs, but if we do get a pullback and you still want a name that's going to be productive to the upside while broader averages are making all-time highs, this is a really good, sane way to do it. Now, there are specific names within the XLU, again, kind of a bond proxy, a name that I'm interested when I'm already looking long, the 30-year bond, the ZB contract. This to me goes along with this, right? So this is the futures connection for this to me. I'll be focused on NEE, which is the heaviest weighted name within the XLU. I also believe that pullback buys in D make a lot of sense. Pullback buys in SRE also make a lot of sense. I'd focus also on SO right in here. Now AEP looks a lot like XLU. So take a look at the pattern right now in AEP and that sort of pullback consolidation in the wave and XLU. So AEP is probably going to behave a lot like the XLU, while I do believe we have sort of relative outperformance to the upside and names like NEE, D, SO, and SRE. Okay, so why look at these names? I think generally speaking, XLU is going to track with bonds. I think that also you don't want to necessarily pile into all the high beta, high momentum names, although certainly I want to favor trades to the long side. We'll talk about a lot of the other ETFs. Now remember, how do ETFs make their way into a futures trader's sort of life? They make their way into a futures trader's life because the index futures contracts, NASDAQ, S&P, Russell, Dow, are all collections of stocks and all collections of sectors as well. So we just take another step deeper into that by saying, well, can we take advantage of understanding where stocks are going based on our understanding of the Dow, S&P, and the NASDAQ? Absolutely. But can we gain the advantage of leverage? Well, clearly, there are actually sector futures contracts covering financials and staples and discretionary, but nobody trades them. There are futures contracts for these markets, again, completely untraded. So what we do instead to get that leverage is we trade the options on these individual heavily weighted stocks and the broader ETFs. So keep an eye on these. This to me is such a hand-in-glove fit for futures index traders. It's just such a simple, logical extension. And this is the way that we're managing a lot of this current market. So we'll get into some of the relative outperformers in the premium video. In the meanwhile, keep an eye on those names that I have outlined in this video on XLU. By the way, the previous free video, Wednesday, we did the XLE. So check those out. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next update.